Alright guys, we are in the end of the journey of 6 games, 3 days. I go through all the hard work of 10 hours a day of chess, and then I give you a recap of 10 to 15 minutes. But still, I have to thank you for watching. I have to thank you for watching the recap, and hopefully you find it instructive or fun or anything. You must be watching for a reason. And yeah, let's go straight into it. I played against a 9-year-old. His name was Jaden, and this was the best game I've ever played. Over the board, I can safely say this was the best game I've played. It's unfortunate because you play so many moves, and then if one of you make a mistake, you just capitalize on it, and that's what happened. But before we give away everything, let's go. He played d4. I gotta switch the board here. He played d4. I played as black because it's the second game of the day. I played knight f6, and if you guys remember from game 3, I played the someone played the London and I lost because I got my queen out early and I traded instead of them trading. So it was something like this. Whatever, defense here, wrong move order, but after trading I played like this and they took a pawn and then I lost the game. Okay, so this time we didn't have any of that. This time we had knight c3, and I prepped the Nimzo. So here I made a tough choice actually because I had to lock up my bishop for life. I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close, and since he's committed this knight, he's probably gonna develop a piece and let me try to go into like a delayed Nimzo Indian. So that's what I did. I took the risk, I played this move, and he played e3 and I played this. And then as soon as he played a3, I'm like, okay, I'm taking this trade. And I was confident at that point that because he had a clear weakness and I did not, I was going to have a good game. I wasn't going to win or anything, I was going to have a good game. But yo, shout out to this kid because after every move, he was a bit intimidating. He kept like walking around the hall, like making me feel like, you know, he's there making the move and not caring, just walking around watching all the other games happening. And I was there like stressing and trying to find the best move and act like Alpha Zero. And this guy did not have any Fs, but he was messing with the wrong guy because I castled, he played knight f3, and I went immediately to try to triple his pawns. And then he doesn't do that. He plays the best move. He's like, this pawn is already doubled. Why not get rid of that problem and cause problems? So that was a great move, and here I played takes and takes, even though a nice idea was go here. Queen d2 was a nice idea. And here if they trade, then we take. Or we even go knight f and say they take. Now the queen comes in. And now it's not easy to save because they have to go back. Now I can take and create some problems. None of that happens. Instead, I go b6. I'm like, look, I'm gonna shut this for the rest of the game. I'm gonna stop this from pushing and locking me out, and I'm gonna prepare this in the future. Okay, so I thought b6 was a nice move, but it kind of equalized the whole position. But obviously it's not equal, not in our level. So we went castles. I went here to attack the pawn with 2 pieces, and here he just took, which is all calculated. I'm like, okay, I'll take. If he takes with the queen, I'll take with the knight, attack his bishop, and now we just play chess. We both try to keep like maneuvering. I'll go in this, attack this with the c file. He has, what pressure does he have? Maybe he has like some threats here with the mate, and that's what we played for. So I played rook towards the c file, preparing my plan, and now he plays the best move, which is, okay, you want to get the c file, you're too late, you don't have enough pieces, so now I'm attacking you, you got to start moving backwards. And this kid was so good at making you move backwards and like cramping your position, and you'll see why. But that's fine if you don't have a clear attack. So rook here to meet me, I go queen here, connect the rooks, defend this knight, and defend this rook, and just like connect, you know, connect. If I move this knight, my queen can go here. I just gotta get my queen on a light square. So he protects his knight he protects his queen with this move and prepares to maybe try to open up. And the whole point is his queen is now defended as well. So I go here, and then he plays rook here, preparing the Alekhine, the shotgun. Okay, this kid has played Fortnite and knows what shotguns are, and he's out to get me. So I play h6, getting over a back rank problem, stopping knight here or any mate threats that I would be unable to stop without ruining the pawn structure a bit, and I didn't want to do that. So now the kid successfully has this. So this looks like a proper game of chess. So that's why I enjoyed it. This is very instructive. This is how it's supposed to be. He has a shotgun, a nice bishop, and knight. But I have two knights. I'm playing a knight versus bishop. I have a semi-shotgun. I have a sawed-off barrel at best. That can only... It's like a BB gun. And yeah, we're playing this. And here I played knight back. I'm like, he cannot push me. He cannot do that. And look, I thought to myself, I'm like, no matter what, in the end game, I'm still confident enough that this pawn and this pawn, because I played this, will be weak enough that I'll win the 2 versus 1. And that's what I thought. And then he played knight here, and here I have 2 moves, queen here and queen back. Really, those are my only 2 moves. You could do a nice Botez gambit, but it's not justified. So I went back because I did not want any tricks, and my pieces are already so cramped. So if I went all the way here and he goes here, like, I know I can kick out the knight and defend, but I just didn't want to ruin the structure. I didn't want to go here, get the rooks in, and maybe he's targeting this pawn. I didn't want any of that. So I stayed back and I played passive. And he plays f4. And when I looked at f4, I'm like, why? Like, he played so solid, and now he's generating a few weaknesses. So now my knight is hopping in, and like, there's a few holes in the position, one here. So if my knight ever lands here successfully, it's putting pressure everywhere. So I jump here first to attack the bishop. Now the bishop goes back. This pawn is undefended. So I play rook here, preparing to double up and try to take this with the queen being a target. He moves the queen, and now look, because this pawn is weak, I can play a tactic, and now I'm playing on my terms. Like, I'm making him make moves that are forced. So I go here, pretty easy tactic to spot. If he takes, I take with the rook, I take the queen, and now I'm attacking this pawn. So now I'm making forward progress. So he defends, I go knight here, and now both my knights are here. Look, there's no advantage yet, but now my knight is on a better square. I further attack this pawn, the rooks are coming in, and this knight can maybe hop in if the queen moves. So he doesn't go for any of this, which I calculated a lot for. Instead, he decides to trade. So I take, rook takes. He takes back, and nothing to talk about here. And now the knight hops in, and see, that's why it's just... Look at these beautiful knights. He has one outpost knight, I have 2. And this is how you play against the bishop. You try to close up and not make the queen and the bishop and the rook team up. So my knights are here, and it's not going to be easy to kick out that knight, because even if he comes here and I go back, if he tries to trade this piece, and the only way to trade it is with this knight, then my knight can just replace it. So yeah, he goes rook here. I find an opportunity to go for a forcing move. Try to go here, attack the rook, and try to put pressure on the pawn. So if I have ideas like this, maybe something sack here and try to take the rook, or some sacks, right? Like, I could, let's say I wanted some move like this, and I would sack here and takes queen and then go here, and I think that was almost mate. He had to give up a few material, but here he plays this. I go back, and he blitzes out. Everyone plays a move that took at least 2 to 5 minutes, and he blitzes out this. And I felt so bad because I blitzed out this. I didn't even calculate, because the position I already calculated before this rook moving here so much that I knew he didn't even have any tricks. So he goes here, I just blitz out because it's a knight, it's a rook and a pawn for a knight. So here I am not going through the end game. And yeah, the rest of the game was me just converting a clean win. I had a lot of time, and I am a full piece up. I am a full piece up, 3 points of material. So the rest of the game was just converting this. And then he was a great sportsman. You know what? 9-year-olds, they might get mad. I might get into a fight with their parents. I don't know what might happen, you know. But he let me mate him. He let me promote to 3 no, I'm not gonna promote to 3 full queens to mate a 9-year-old. That would be brutal. But he let me promote and he let me mate him, and he took it like a man, like a 9-year-old man. So yeah, that was a fun game by Jaden. We all know Jaden's gonna make it somewhere. He's 9 years old and he's playing really well. I mean, that's how they start, right? So yeah, hopefully me and him get a lot more games, because I'm gonna be studying, and the pace he's gonna get better at is hopefully the same pace I'm gonna try. So yeah, these kids motivate you, man. They also motivate you, which is nice. Anyways, that was the tournament. We scored 4 out of 6. We won a grand prize of $125 because we were unrated. There was apparently a prize for unrated, and I performed one of the best in the unrated pool. So yeah, 4 out of 6, not a bad first time. Definitely do more of these recaps in the future. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care and stop sacking pieces for no reason.